Our top story is about, unfortunately, domestic violence against men, as the Olympian star Sha'Carri Richardson was assaulting her boyfriend in the broad daylight at the airport a while back. And just in case if you haven't seen that footage, I'll show it to you in just a second. But now we got to see the body cam footage from the police officers who arrested her. But just if you don't know what happened, this is the airport footage of her assaulting her boyfriend. Now, she is an Olympian, and so is her boyfriend, by the way. And kudos to him for not really even defending himself, even though it was very much in his rights. But look at this: repeated hitting, more and more and more. And by the way, let's just be honest, nobody even was bothered by this at the airport. Literally nobody. Imagine if the roles were reversed, of course, but we don't really have to. Now, this week, the body cam footage was released, and we know what she said. You want to make some guesses, especially with the Me Too movement saying how we should believe all women, especially when it comes to domestic violence? Well, let's see.
Right. So this is the position that Christian Coleman puts me into, okay? Because he's a coward, and I don't want anything to do with him at this point going forward. My name is Sha'Carri Richardson. Have no problem.
Yeah, so this is where she's calling him a coward and talking shit about him. This is her boyfriend that she just assaulted, by the way, right? Let's be very clear on that. And again, as we're watching this footage, just please think about what if the gender roles were reversed.
Was there any type of physical assault?
No, I didn't touch him. He didn't touch me. I will be honest.
Right. As you can see, just blunt lying. And again, everybody says, well, we need to believe women, right? Every time we do need to believe women. Well, we now know what that footage showed, right? She repeatedly hit him. She repeatedly assaulted him. And she said, I'm going to be honest with you. Nothing happened, right? Keep that in mind. But there's another piece of footage as well. Let's take a look at that as well.
Would letting you know who I am, having put my hands on him. We had an argument. I will be honest about that. An argument, and that's pretty much it.
Again, she doubles down. She said, well, nothing happened. Nothing happened. It just, whatever. So, there are two problems with this, right? The problem number one is, first of all, it's a huge disservice to those women who are actually victims of domestic violence and should be believed. But when women like her actually lie through their teeth, and in this case, her boyfriend was a victim. But a lot of times what happens is, how many times a woman attacks a man without anybody present in the comfort of their own home. He tries to defend himself, in the process bruises her or scratches her or whatever, and the police shows up, and guess who they arrest every goddamn time? Let me tell you something about my experience. In the last 2 years, every single domestic violence victim that I know personally was a man. Let me repeat that. Every single domestic violence victim that I know in my life over the last couple of years was a man. Do you understand what I'm saying? Women wanted to become men with feminism and everything, and they got the jobs and they became the boss chicks and everything, but they also started being extremely, extremely violent. And by the way, just this week, this story broke here where a bunch of teenage girls have planned to murder a teenage boy because they didn't like that he might have been cheating on one of them, and they didn't like how he was in the relationship. You want to bet that by the way, they were all arrested because somebody overheard them, planning to kill him and turn them in. And, since they're not that smart yet, they all got busted and arrested, but they were just going to knife him in the bathroom. And this is the new generation of teenage girls. You want to bet that they were all raised by single mothers, or if they have a father in their households, he is a simp. This is what happens. This is what happens when this generation of women and men is being raised by single mothers and simp fathers. The next segment I'm going to do has everything to do with that as well. Now, this is what's happening. The women are getting more and more and more violent, but unfortunately, it's kind of becoming the norm, because as you can see in the body cam footage, no one's really batting an eye on that. well, whatever, no big deal, just an assault. But it is assault against a man, so it's not a big deal, right? Now, she also issued an apology, and I'm gonna play a little bit of that for you, and let's take a look. If this modern woman is taking responsibilities and genuinely feels horrible about what happened, or
putting myself in a compromised situation with somebody that I have a deep care and appreciation for as well is something that holding myself accountable.
Along with the recorded apology to her fans and family, she posted this statement apologizing to her boyfriend for.
So yeah, as you can see with a smirk there on her face, I'm gonna bet on the fact that didn't really mean it. Just did it because obviously probably some endorsements are going to go away or whatever. I mean, with a smirk on her face. And this goes to show again that women do not like taking responsibilities for their actions, especially when it comes to relationships with men and just generally speaking in life, because our societies, right, the Western societies have set it up where women just don't need to be responsible for anything in their lives. I guarantee you that this not only going to happen more, but this already happens behind closed doors. And not only more and more men are becoming victims, and a lot of them don't report this, as I already mentioned in the last week's story when we talked about the UK police department that was basically targeting specifically men. You can watch that story in my library. But this is already happening, and a lot of times when police show up, especially in America, the victim goes to actual prison or jail, and going to continue happening. I also noticed that some of the media coverage, they have actually did not play every single piece that I played for you, where she was essentially lying. They don't want to portray a woman as somebody who is lying through her teeth and doing disservices, like I said, to other women, because the mainstream media is not going to hold modern women responsible either. So this is unfortunately the top story today.
If you want to ditch modern women and move abroad for more traditional relationships, go to themillionmanproject.com, take my most comprehensive course, and change your life.